You're listening to Mike Adams and Chris Savory, the record collectors from the BBC, between now and 9 tonight.
Our special guest tonight has come all the way from the United States. The first time in 30 years. It's a hearty welcome to Freddy Cannon. Welcome to the record collectors, Freddy.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. It's great to be back in England. Took a long time to get here, but I'm here.
Now, you have the honour of having the first rock and roll record at #1 in the UK charts. Are you aware of that?
I didn't know that. I really didn't. That's an awful nice thing that these people over here and the fans have liked me all these years. And I've been doing these shows now for like 10 to 12 days, and the tour is a long tour. And I can tell that they are happy to see me, but they don't realize that I'm just as happy as to see them when they come up to me and talk to me and want to shake my hand. And it's really fun. It's really good.
Now, I remember you did a tour back in 1960 in the UK, and you did, and you toured. That was your first tour, and then it was about 10 years later you did your last tour. So,
right, that's right.
But talk about the beginning of your career. How did it start out for you musically?
Well, my mom wrote a poem called "Rock and Roll Baby," and this is how from that poem, I started Tallahassee Lassie, which I played the melody on my guitar. We were living in Revere, Massachusetts, and I don't know how fate had it that things would happen for me for some reason, because I was out of high school. I was working at a paint store, and what happened is that I took this little tape. I wanted to record this with my little band in Boston, and took the tape and brought it to a disc jockey like yourself in Boston. He in turn played it for Frank Slay and Bob Crew, who said they liked it. Took it to New York City, and then a month went by, weeks went by, and they called me and said, we want to rewrite some of these words to the song with you. Is that all right? And I got all excited. They said, we'd love you to come to New York and record your voice over again on the track. I already had the track. My band already had Tallahassee track. We just didn't have the right words on there. And I just went to New York, did that. From there, it went from them to Swan Records, which is the States. Swan Records played it for Dick Clark, who had American Bandstand, and it was like a snowball. Then what happened was that they weren't sure if it was a hit record, so they tested it. They tested it in Boston, Massachusetts, and a little town called Allentown, Pennsylvania, to find out if we had a hit. Well, in Allentown, Pennsylvania, they sold 10,000 records in less than 12 days, and they said that's a smash. They knew right then to release it across the country. And the record just took off. That's how it all started.
You did some performing before that, though, as a guitarist, and you were on some records before then.
Oh yeah. I passed. I didn't know if you wanted me to talk about that. I played on a record called "Ka-Ding Dong" by the G-Clefs.
Yeah.
I never got any money for that. I was like 16 years old, and I played the solo on there, which is a rhythm solo. I don't play much lead, but I play a lot of rhythm. And that's the kind of solo that's on this song. It's called "Ka-Ding Dong." The record was in the top 10, the R&B charts way back in '56. So that was good for me. Then I had a group called the Spin Drifts, and I recorded a thing called Cha Cha Do, which is probably a rare record no one can get. It was a local hit in Boston.
I'm after that one, actually.
Oh, yeah? Okay. It's a local hit in Boston, and ABC Paramount picked it up, and when they picked up the record, it just didn't do anything after that. They didn't push it or anything, but in Boston it did really well. And I'm trying to think. I think after that we became Tallahassee. That was the next step. So it seemed like I was going in stages here, you know.
Well, here in the UK, sadly, it was covered by Tommy Steele, Tallahassee Lassie.
Yeah.
And though yours registered good sales, it was Tommy Steele's record that actually sort of got the glory, being the homeboy making the copy.
Yeah.
But you were getting royalties, presumably.
Yes, I was. I was getting royalties. But you know, it's funny. I think when what happened was that's how I got to come to the UK, because of Tommy Steele. I never met the guy or anything, you know, and he was a great actor, doing a lot of Disney movies and everything. Never met him to this day, but thanks to him, this is the reason why I came to the UK, because when I came to the UK, that's when my record jumped on the charts and as you know, moved up on the charts, because they knew that now they had the original song by the original artist playing this song. So that really helped me, yeah.
And then, of course, after that, there was Way Down Yonder in New Orleans, which went gold, I think, twice over. That
it was great. Yeah, it was great. It was a great feeling. I didn't think that record or song would be anything. I just didn't think it was a hit. I honestly didn't. I just thought it was such an old type song, my dad had a band in Boston and played that kind of music, big band music.
Yeah.
And I says, this will never be a hit. I told Swan Records, so it won't be a hit. That was proved me all wrong. In England, they just loved it. They loved that whole album, as you said, the Explosive, because it had all that kind of music in there. Chattanooga Shoeshine Boy and Indiana and California, Here I Come, and all those records.
Well, they all were place names. When was it? It was almost the first thematic album because you played. I mean, they talk about conceptual albums in the 70s.
Yeah.
But here was an album which you did.
All states, cities and states. Yeah.
Was that your idea?
No, that was Bob Crew, who later did the Four Seasons. That was him. He's a brilliant man. He knows his music. He's not in music business anymore, but he is. I give him the full credit for the producing and the ideas and. I used to go woo on the record. The woos, that's Bob Crew's idea, because at the beginning of Tallahassee, we sang Tallahassee. We had nothing in the holes of the record. If everybody understands me, there's like little holes. So you sing a line and there's like nothing happens. So Bob said to me, Freddie, can you scream? So I would scream like, wow, like James Brown. He said, nah, not that. And he kept going. He said, can you give me like a woo? And I went, woo. He said, that's the one. He said, let's do it every time there's a hole. That's how that came about. Yeah, so things like that.
And then your days with Swan were coming to an end.
To an end, yeah. Like around 63. And I went to Warner Brothers. And I had a couple of records with Warner Brothers that did real good in the States. I don't know how good they did here, but in the States, Abigail Beach, where the action is, which was a television show. And I had a record called A Dedication Song, too.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard that out here.
Yes,
yeah. So, it was getting hard, tougher and tougher,
What's your favorite record of the early days? Let's play it right now.
Two records I have, two favorites. I'll choose Tallahassee Lassie because it was my first one. And I would like to hear Buzz Buzz the Diddle It, even though it wasn't a big hit by me, but Matchbox covered it. I wrote that under a fictitious name with my friend Bobby Bolanger on the record. You see Bobby Bolanger, there's another name on the record, that's me. I had to write that way because I'm an ASCAP writer and he's a BMI writer and we can't write. So the only way I could collect any money off Buzz Buzz the Diddle It was to become a BMI writer for that moment, for that song. And I had to register that way. And till this day, I have to change my address so they know it's me. It's crazy. Yeah, that's how they do it in the States. So.
Buzz Buzz the Diddle It is one of the, as far as rock and roll collectors are concerned,
they love that, yeah.
Yeah, it's worth about $25 in the UK.
No kidding.
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
And
my version or the Matchbox version?
Your version.
My version.
Yeah, your version.
Matchbox did a great record of it, though. They did a wonderful record. I'm very proud of their version of it.
But I think yours is the definitive version of it.
Is it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And of course, the record that brought you back in the UK charts was Palisades Park, which no longer exists.
And I didn't think that did anything over here, but people seem to ask me. I haven't been doing it on the show very much.
I can tell you the chart position of that, and
all right.
Here we go. It went in the UK charts anyway. Palisades Park.
Number 20.
No, I think it was certainly number 3 in the States, number 2, number 3.
Right.
And in the UK, you're quite right, went to number 20. You're right.
How did I know this? What else do we have on there?
Well, your charts are...
Here's the chart records.
Here's your chart records.
Okay, let's see.
These are your American hits, and these are your UK... You had 5 UK hits.
5 UK hits.
Which were Tallahassee Lassie, Way Down Yonder in New Orleans, The Urge, followed by California, Here I Come. Okay. I always felt that Buzz Buzz the Diddle It should have been issued there.
Yeah,
and then Palisades Park.
Yeah,
which,
see, Buzz Buzz the Diddle didn't even hit the charts.
No, but
isn't that funny?
No, strange, isn't it? I mean, but Slaying Crew were particularly good. They
did a lot of things for me. I cannot count them all for all the stuff they've done. This is Russ Regan. You know who he is? Russ Regan. He wrote that, and you can just see, it's Picarello. See, but the names were added, so they wrote a couple of lines and they became writers on some of these things. But they're very talented. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I when I see that, I just didn't think that was right.
Let's talk about your career, perhaps in the 90s, and you've been still carrying on recording in the.
Well, I'm writing a lot now. I'm not. To be very honest with you, I don't even care if I have a hit record. I really don't care if I have a hit record. I just want to write and hope that someone else will like what I'm writing, because I got that inspiration really a lot. I'm writing very today, not old stuff, but Latin music and pop music, country music. I'm writing dance stuff, everything. And I have stuff placed out in different places in the States. I don't want to build my hopes up too much right now until something happens, but that's what I really want to do. And I have my biggest dream. I tell my wife, and they're gonna be the first to hear this, but I have one dream left in this business, and the only dream, and if it comes true, everything else has happened has been wonderful, is to walk down the aisle at the Grammys and get a Grammy for songwriting. That's all I want. That would be wonderful. If somebody like a Ricky Martin or somebody would cut one of my records, one of my songs.
Well, who knows? I mean,
no, we don't know that. I know, but I've written 20 songs in like 8 weeks. And there's one or two that are very good there.
Now, over the years, you performed with some of the legends of rock and roll.
Oh, yeah.
Have you any memories that are suitable for broadcast that we can...
Oh, yeah. I got. Well, I was here with Eddie Cochran. Eddie Cochran was touring with some English acts, and then toward the end of that, I joined him and Gene Vincent. I don't know how many days. I can't remember how many days it was. The only reason I know why it was very short, my dad came with me and became friends with Eddie Cochran. He used to drink hot beer, warm beer, up in northern England, in the lobby of the hotel, and we became good friends. And that's when he died. That was the last of at the end. But he was a wonderful man, Eddie Cochran. He was a nice guy, and what a great performer. No wonder he's so big here. The people knew when they see somebody that's good. What I think England is best known for when it comes to this rock and roll music is if they like you, they'll let you know it, and believe me, that's really something because he was great.
Oh, but Gene Vincent and Eddie Cochran are close. Eddie Cochran particularly.
Yeah, isn't he? Would you say?
He had everything.
He had everything. He could. I don't know if you ever seen him. Have you seen him live?
Yeah, I saw him once.
Once,
yeah, just
great.
one time.
Magnetic, charisma on the stage, and the girls and everything just loved him. When he did his show, the little portion of I opened the show, and Eddie was in the middle, and then Gene Vincent would close the show. And I don't know how many venues we played. I just can't remember.
He certainly came up my way because my cousin took me to the show. But the screaming and the noise, you couldn't hear a lot of the performance.
Oh, yeah.
Gene Vincent, memories of Gene?
Yeah. Gene Vincent, no, because he was like, I never talked to him too much. I always talked with Eddie. It wasn't too much with Gene. He seemed to keep to himself. And, I don't know. He just he was with his band and his own little friends that he had. Said hello and nothing, but no conversation. But Eddie, long conversations all the time. He was just happy to talk with another American, and my dad was there. We'd joke with him and everything,
Keeping the Italian connection running, you knew Dion, or you've met with Dion a few times.
Yeah.
Do you still see Dion DiMucci?
No, I don't see him. He lives in Florida, and he's doing a lot of shows again. He had stopped and he started up again. I don't do too many shows with him. The people I work with in the States is usually. It's been Chubby Checker, Bo Diddley. I work with Chuck Berry once in a while. I work with Jerry Lee. I work with the Coasters, the Platters, the Drifters. I'm with them. They always seem to place me with a lot of the black acts. The reason I think is because when I do a show, my music is very danceable music, and it fits right in what everybody else is doing. It really fits. I'm pretty rocking, and you haven't seen me. You're going to see me tonight.
Yes, I am. Because I have seen you perform before. But I've waited 30 years to see you again.
Yeah, well, this is different now. You'll see what a difference. As you keep doing it, I think you learn more as you go. So you'll be. I hope you'll have a good time tonight. You'll have a good time.
Have you any new product that's available on this tour? So our listener can say, well, the tour is traveling around the UK. Some of you who.
New songs, you mean?
New song, a new album or anything that's for sale on the tour?
Yeah, we got an album, but we're running out. We only have 12 copies left if they're going to get them. It's got all the hits on it, but it's very new. It's like 3 weeks old. It came from America. It's on Verace Records. It's all the Swan records. It's all the Swan stuff on CD, but it's very, very good. Very high quality, high tech. It's really good. But only got 12 left. We've had 200. We sold out.
Oh, you should import some in before the tour's over. On behalf of your legion of fans, and which I include myself as one, it's been a real pleasure at long last to have Mr. Freddy Boom Boom Cannon on the Record Collectors.
You make me feel really good. Every time people come up and talk to me like you are, and I'm a funny person. I'm very sentimental. when somebody says, I like you, we've been waiting to see you for years, I start to cry. And I want to cry because I like it. You know, it's really good. Thank you, Freddy Cannon.